Hi, this is Steve. I was just reflecting back on some election material from SIG and just seeing how just looking at how they've progressed on those promises. We all know that political parties tell porkies and lies to get elected, but there are some really classics in the SIG election material. So the first one I want to look at is back in 2021. And really, a lot of these things haven't changed. You note that they say no to the Greens, and they talk about the voting bloc that runs. Just for interest, I looked at the voting decisions in the current council, and they've voted as a bloc on 34 occasions. So apparently Greens voting blocs are evil, while SIG voting blocs are fine. The stimulus package, now this conflicts greatly with the idea of keeping our budget in balance. The SIG group in that 2021 timeframe, around the time of COVID, actually gave away $17 million of ratepayers' money back to people. That was largely through a $300 per ratepayer rebate. It's largely one of the main reasons we are broke. So when SIG talk about how they're focused on fixing finances and the rest, the fact is it was SIG who put us in the red. Say no to parking meters. This has been rolled out in that election plus the most recent election. I don't know where this parking meter story comes from. I do know that the Greens were talking in the last election about paid parking for visitors, but there was never any intention or details from the Greens about putting in paid parking for everybody. It was simply an alternative way to raise funds, in part to pay back the $17 million that SIG gave away. So that's a popular thing that they keep repeating. And it's interesting, help rid the council of big party politics. The SIG is a registered political party in New South Wales. We've had the mayor admit this on the Chance and Beck show this year, and it's nonsense. And currently, at this time it was Councillor Watson was running the show with his wife, who's a party official. At the current time, the party official is Lou Casmieri and his wife and Mr. Balding. So SIG is a major political party and has been a major political party within the Shoalhaven for nearly 40 years. But they were continuing to spread this story that they were a group of independents. They're not independents, they're a political party. It's also interesting in the 2021 election that Selina Clancy used the title Major. Now, it's normal practice that military people don't use their rank in advertising materials for election. And to be clear, Major sounds quite impressive. But in terms of the public service, the federal public service, the equivalent of a major is what's known as an ASO 6. It's well below the executive ranks in the service, with the senior executive service cutting in at commander rank for SES 1, the first level of the top 3 levels in the Australian Public Service, is a brigadier. So Selina, and respect to service, but she was a relatively low-level officer in the Army, just hits the supervisory levels in the public sector, an EL1, Executive Level 1, below the SES. So just to recap, this election material from 2021 for Ward 1, it's just full of porkies. This idea of the voting bloc, nonsense. The idea of the parking meters, nonsense. The idea of a political party, nonsense. And then you have Selina's claim where she uses her military rank, possibly a breach of army procedures. I'm not so sure if she's still a reservist or whatever else, but clearly she shouldn't have been using a military title in election material. My next episode on this will be the last election, focusing on Mayor White's campaign and other stories told by SIG during that campaign. Till then, see you soon.